and today I have another solo episode, and today's episode is a topic talk episode. The question we're trying to answer today is, how can I learn English alone? How can I learn English alone? And my answer to that, I'm going to answer that with an English expression or an English saying. It's a very old expression, and it goes like this. We say, no man is an island. Okay? No man is an island. And I think what that means is that we are all connected, or no one person can completely disconnect from everyone else. You're always connected to some person through your work, through your family, through your friendships, whatever it may be. We're all connected. We cannot help it. It's just and I think that's why, we use those expressions on social media, making connections on Facebook. How many friends do you have? Oh, I connected with this person on Facebook, and then that person connects to another person who connects to another person that connects to maybe somebody else that and it's all about connections, right? So when students ask me, Jack, how can I learn English alone? My answer is you can't. You can't learn English alone any better than you could learn how to be a friend without talking to any people. Like reading a book called How to Be a Friend. Chapter 1, be kind. Chapter 2, listen to your friend. Chapter 3. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? Trying to, learn how to be a friend. I think learning English alone is almost as ridiculous as learning how to be a friend alone. I mean, you learn how to be a good friend by befriending people and having relationships and experiencing those things. And the exact same thing can be said about English. It's about interacting and using the language with other people creatively, trying to communicate, trying to be understood. Now, obviously, there are times where you could study certain things by yourself, like you could learn some new vocabulary, or you could do some reading by yourself. You could listen to a podcast by yourself. You could do some grammar exercises. But if you don't take all of that work, that homework type stuff, grammar exercises, listening to the podcast, and you don't apply that to some kind of actual real life speaking situation where you're talking with other people. It doesn't have to be native speakers. It could be other language learners. If you don't take that next step and actually use the language creatively, then all the other stuff is pointless. There's no point in practicing grammar if you're not going to go out and use the language. And that's, the hardest part. And we're making that easier here at the A to Z English podcast, because we are associated very closely with something called World English. And World English is a community that I started with a YouTuber, Robin Shaw, and we started this community so that students can join the WhatsApp group. They can come in there, they can talk to each other. Now, talking to each other doesn't necessarily mean you're talking using your voice. You could be typing and communicating that way through text messages or voice notes. But we also have Google Meets classes, and you're allowed to go to the Google Meets classes for several weeks for free. And we have Google Meets classes almost every day. So at 1 p.m. GMT, that's Greenwich Mean Time, we have a free class Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, every day, every week. The only days we don't do are Fridays. And then we also have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We have another class that is that takes place at that would be 1 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Okay. And so we've got these two, so that's 44 classes that you can attend. And what we do in these classes is students get together in Google Meets, on Google Meets. So you have to have a Google account. And you need a smartphone. And then in the Google Meets, you get together and you join other members of our community in breakout rooms, and you discuss a topic. And sometimes the native English speakers are in there. Sometimes I'm in there. Sometimes our teachers are in there, and you're, talking and having a conversation. And this is the final piece of the puzzle. That's the most important part that so many people skip. I'm going to study for my IELTS test. I'm going to study for my Duolingo test. And I'm just going to memorize this grammar. I'm going to memorize this vocabulary. I'm going to, but when it comes to speaking, I'm just going to say, oh, it's too hard. How can I find anyone to talk to? So I'm just not going to do that part. Well, that's the whole point of all of the work that you're doing, is to speak with other people. That's it. Like I said, no man is an island. You cannot be a language learner and be an island. You need to be connected to other people. You need to use the language creatively in a social setting. That's it. It has to be that way. And if you're not doing that, then you're not really learning English. You might be studying some of the rules, you might be picking things up, but you're never going to actually be able to communicate and function as a bilingual speaker until you actually put yourself in social situations where you're using English as the target language to communicate ideas and listen to other people's ideas and share opinions and go back and forth and do that, that tennis match, which is a conversation. That's it. That's the ultimate, that's the ultimate goal, or that's what your ultimate goal should be. Not some score on an exam, not getting some kind of grammar questions correct. It's a totally different ballgame when you're actually using the language to communicate